to our podcast. Good morning, afternoon, evening, and night, friends. Let me introduce myself. I'm Elsa Gloria, what likely known as Gege, your host for today's podcast. And of course, I'm not alone because I'm joined by special guests, friends from the psychology students from UNJ. Hi guys!
Hi, Elisa!
So let's introduce ourselves first.
Hi, I'm Aca.
I'm Fanny.
I'm Faila.
Hi, I am Ulfa.
Okay, since our guests are psychology students in this podcast, we'll discuss the topic of social psychology. Just so we don't misunderstand, what is exactly social psychology?
Okay, so social psychology is the study of how people think, influence, and relate to others.
Yeah, social psychology is closely related to our daily lives.
Oh, really? But how does that manifest in our daily lives?
Okay, so there are actually many examples we can observe, such as conformity, social comparison, social loving, bystander effect, and many more.
But maybe our listeners at home are still unfamiliar with the term.
Right, I'm not quite familiar with the terms you mentioned either.
Oh, maybe I can explain one of them is bystander effect. It occurs when a group of people doesn't intervene immediately because they believe someone else among them will help first.
I have experienced it by bystander effect. For example, in a crowd, if someone falls and isn't helped, that's an of the bystander effect because we assume someone else will help, so we don't act.
Oh, so because there are still others around, we tend not to help immediately because we assume someone else will help first.
Yeah, exactly. I also have another experience. Once in a class, a professor forgot his laptop and asked students to retrieve it from the faculty room. And I just stayed put, thinking someone else would help them, would help the professor. But it turned out everyone stayed quiet until we looked around and found someone who eventually helped the professor.
Oh, one of the most famous cases of the bystander effect is the kid case. He was attacked by an unknown person and reportedly more than 30 minutes hurt and saw the attack but did nothing. That's why 911 became a way to prevent the bystander during there's a response in.
That's true, but unfortunately, even with emergency numbers, people still hesitate of act. Maybe one factor is the fear of making mistakes or feeling unsure and hoping someone else will take responsibility.
That might be argument for why some people exhibit the bystander. Wow, I just learned that there are terms for such psychological phenomena. Oh, besides the bystander effect, I also heard about conformity earlier. What is that?
Okay, so conformity is when someone changes behavior to fit with group standards. For example, I used to ride a motorcycle a lot, but in this age, most of my friends use public transportation. So over time, I also started using public transport more often.
Oh, I get it. So a person can change their habits depending on their environment?
Yes, that's right. Conformity is influenced by three factors: biological, psychological, and socio-cultural. In biological factor, the brain views non-conformity as a mistake, or conformity as a positive thing.
In psychological factors, it's divided into two: informational social influence, which refers to the influence others have on us because we want to be correct, and normative social influence, the influence others have on us because we want them to like us.
The last factor is socio-cultural. In individualistic cultural, independent and individual achievement are affluent. Messaging different and
social, the emphasis is on the group, promoting group harmony and believing that achievement of individuals playing their roles in a larger social network.
So, from what we have discussed about social psychology, I can conclude that two examples are the bystander effect and conformity, both of which likely occur a lot in our society. Each has its pros and cons, but I've concluded that everyone to reduce the tendency to be a bystander due to fear, as illustrated by funny story about keeping a fit. Also be mindful that conformity isn't always beneficial, so try to discern what is worth adopting and what is not. And maybe that's it for our discussion on social psychology. I hope it is useful for those listening. Thanks to Acha, Fanny, Faila, and Ulfa for sharing your experiences to helping me explain social psychology to everyone. Thank you very much and goodbye!
Bye! Thank you, Gege!